The question of the day today is, what's my purpose? What's my calling? I believe that if you don't really know what your soul is calling you to do, what your soul guided desires are, that's the first thing. Because most people get their pleasures confused with their calling. And so they'll live a life of chasing this pleasure and that one, and they'll do this business and that type of investing and try to make money and try to get the goal and try to do all this stuff. And sometimes they'll succeed, but they won't be fulfilled. And what's the point? If you're going to go and get successful and then you get there and you don't have a good time, you don't like your life, you don't feel fulfilled, what's the point of that? And if they don't succeed, then they'll be unsuccessful and unfulfilled. How can it get any worse than that? That's bad. You're not looking good if you're not successful and you're not having a good time. Fuck that. Golly gosh. So I'm here for both. I'm here to do both. I'm here to teach both, and I'm here to tell you that you can have both. You can have fulfillment and success. You can have it all. Why think that it's one or the other? That's some crazy shit, limited thinking shit. You can have it all. Here's what you do. Firstly, it's good to understand the nature of your being, because you have a body, you have a mind, and you have a soul. The higher up the scale you go, the faster the vibration. This is your spiritual state, this is your physical state, and it's a scale in between. Now, in the Hermetic teachings and now in pretty much every religion on earth, understand that the soul state, the spiritual state, is the masculine, and down here is the feminine. This is God the Father, the spiritual, and this is Mother Nature. The feminine is down. Don't get too caught up with it being masculine and feminine as in a girl and a boy, like a human girl and boy gender. Think of masculine as a transmitter down into the feminine, which is the receiver. Masculine transmits, feminine receives. Make sense? Now, when the male's the head of the house, the head of the temple, and the female does what he says, as in the body does what the soul desires, you have self-actualization and spiritual empowerment. You have an empowered life. That doesn't mean if you're a female woman, go and do what your husband says, or what the guy has got to boss you around or some shit. That's a mistranslation of all the teachings and what your religion is actually acknowledging. It means make sure your feminine receiving mind is receiving the message and following the orders from your own male, your own soul, rather than someone else's. Because the people who don't know themselves tend to get pushed around in life. Because instead of listening to their own soul-guided desires, they listen to everyone else's on the outside, and they try to please and appease the other people, the authorities that they've given their power away to. And the authorities become the authors of their life. And if you get someone who's not listening to their own soul-guided desires, it doesn't matter how rich they get, they win the lottery, they become billionaires, they become successful, famous, they get the guy, they get the kids, they get the dream life. If they're not listening to their soul-guided desires, they won't achieve fulfillment. They won't be self-actualized. And what I've learned now, studying under some of the brightest minds on the planet for the last 4 years, is that your soul is leaving clues. Your soul-guided desires are there. They're showing up in your life already. They're leaving clues, and if you know how to look, you can find them. Because remember what the Hermetics said when they talked about correspondence? They said, as above, so below. Meaning, if you take a look at your physical space, at how you're living your life, at the patterns that keep occurring and recurring, and you have a framework by which to analyze objectively really what's going on here, you will see that your soul is leaving clues. It's leaving cookie crumbs, a trail, waiting for you to find your greater purpose. So I have devised a 4-step process. It takes about 5 hours. It takes about 5 hours of really closely, deeply looking at your life and analyzing it. If you do it, you will have a level of clarity that you maybe have never even experienced. So the process very loosely goes like this. You dig into your life. You dig into your life and maybe dig into the areas that you don't want to dig into. And you find the crumbs. You get the crumbs, you dust them off, you blow them off, you see the common threads, the common patterns, you group them together, and you will find your purpose. Then you write out exactly what you want to be, do, and have in your life. You want to write out who you want to serve, how you want to serve them. Why do you even want to serve them? You'll be digging into your past, finding all the guiding synchronicities that have got you here, and you'll realize there has never been a mistake in my life. It's all in order. Here's very generally what it looks like. This is your step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. This here is a series of mental alchemy, which I'll explain in good time. When you finish that takes about 5 hours. That is your life purpose. Then you come down here and do the next sheet, which is your projections and injections, because based on your soul-guided desires and the soul-guided desires of the people around you and your social network and in your family network, you will be projecting and injecting. When you complete this, you will have a different understanding of the people in your life and why they're in your life and why you're in their life, and you will be graced and humbled by this process. The next thing you want to do is own the traits. You got to own all the traits, all the positive traits that you could possibly have and all the negative traits that you could possibly have. And you will see that you have them all. You are cultured, creative, courageous, enthusiastic, efficient, educated, generous, grateful. You've got all the positive traits and you've got all the negative traits. Believe it or not, you've got them all. And the areas of your life that you express your positive traits and express your negative traits is directly correlated to your soul-guided desires. So when you complete this, you have a completely new understanding of your own personality. If you do it thoroughly, you will become bulletproof to criticism. Because if you know where you're unloyal, where you're dumb, slow, unordered, where you're a failure, if you know that and you love that, how can their words offend you? Just in doing this process here, sheet 4, you will calm down your need to please and appease, defend, and sort of explain yourself. And that allows you to focus on the mission, allows you to focus on your soul-guided desires and your life purpose, rather than trying to arm wrestle people and try and prove yourself. And finally, fears and hurdles. Because out of the small percentage of people who actually know their soul-guided desires, an even smaller percent actually go and dedicate their life to fulfilling them. And it's usually fear. So I've got here a 6-step process that calms down fears. Fear of death, fear of failure, fear of being too dumb, fear of losing job, money, income, fear of losing spouse, status, family, attention. Any fear that you have, you do this, you won't have the fear. I'm certain that if anyone does this properly, really spends the time in doing this whole form, step by step, at the end of it, you have clarity for your purpose, you have clarity for your mission, you have gratitude for the people in your life that are ultimately helping you to go and pursue that mission. At the end of it, you have gratitude for your life and you see why things happened in your life exactly the way they did. You have gratitude for your life, you have gratitude for the people, you know yourself better than you will have ever known yourself in the history of your life, and you've calmed down your fears. I am very certain that this, if done properly, will literally change the way that you spend the rest of your life. It will completely change people's lives. And we're weeks away from launching, and I'm very, very excited because I've spent the last 6-7 years now teaching finance, teaching success, worldly success, empowering the senses is what I call it. But this here will be the first time I actually go out to the public and teach soul, how to empower the soul. So if you will be joining me on doing this program, go over to lewismoka.com now. You can swipe up and go and do that. Go and get your account on the site. Go and register for your account. You can have a look around there. I've got some blogs up there already, right? I haven't officially launched yet.
I don't believe that a person has to have this drudging life with a Monday morning blues and Wednesday hump days and thank God it's Fridays and week friggin' ends. I really believe that people can desire a life and live a life that's inspiring. So the breakthrough experience